Hey YouTube, this is Jaden Storm coming at you from Team Shadow Strike, and this is going to be my Pokemon top 10 list for Generation 2. I did my picks for Generation 1. Now before I get into Generation 2, I am going to make a few announcements real quick. First off, if you are new to my channel, thank you for checking out my channel. I appreciate it. And if you are new, please go check out my video for the August monthly giveaway. I am doing giveaways now every month. It started in August because August is the month of my birthday. The giveaway this month. All you got to do is go to the video, watch it in the comment section below. You need to leave a comment. That is all you have to do to be a part of the contest. If you leave a comment and subscribe, you are entered to win the contest. If you want to know what the question is, if you want to know everything about it, just go watch the video. And you can be a part of it. And if you win, I will send you the prize, and then it is yours to keep, and it won't cost you anything. It will still be sealed in what I buy it in. So if you want to know what the prize is, what the question is, just go check out the video. It's the August monthly giveaway. The picture with the video is Leo the Lion because I'm a Leo. Now, also for December, my December monthly giveaway, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make a little change here. It is still going to be the same prize. In December, one of you guys, one of my subscribers, for Christmas, for my Christmas giveaway, I am going to be giving away a copy of either Alpha Ruby or Omega Sapphire, or, oh my god, it's Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I'm going to be giving away one of the copy of the new Pokemon games, okay, that come out in November, okay? So that is going to be my Christmas giveaway for you guys. The reason I'm not doing it in November is because I'm assuming a lot of people are going to be buying one or two, and I'll probably already have something picked out before the release of the game, and I think it would be cooler to give the game away on Christmas. So anyway, when that giveaway comes along, it will be something Pokemon related. It will be basically the same thing. I will give you a question or a statement or something, and you'll have to respond to it. And then when I pick the winning comment, if you win, I will then send you a message and I will tell you, okay, you have won my contest, congratulations, yada yada yada. Would you like Pokemon Ruby or Pokemon Sapphire? And I will send you a Pokemon 3DS copy, still sealed, to you. And it is yours to keep, and that will be my gift to you for Christmas. So anyway, if you are new to my channel, please go check those out. If you do stumble across this video, this is not just a Pokemon channel. This is mainly as a Vanguard channel, but I've recently also put gaming in it too. I do all kinds of stuff, deck profiles, trade binders, all kinds of stuff. So if this is your first time to my channel, please go check that out and check out all my other content. And if you ever have any questions, you can just leave a comment in the video section, message me, or you can message me at the Vanguard team email, which I will put in the comment section below. So guys, now we're going to finally get into what this list is about, and this is going to be my top 10 Pokemon from Generation 2. Now, Generation 2 was the Johto region, and that is going to range from Pokemon number 152, Chikorita, all the way to Pokemon number 251, which was Celebi. Remember, in these lists, you will not see any legendary Pokemon. I am going to do another list for legendary Pokemon. There's over 50 legendaries, 52 I believe to be in total, and I'm going to do a top 10 list of just legendary Pokemon. So if you are asking, hey, why isn't Lugia on this list? Wait for my top 10 legendary list. I'm pretty sure Lugia will probably be on there. So anyway, guys, let's jump straight into this. So number 10, my number 10 spot for my top 10 favorite Pokemon from Generation 2, the Johto region, number 10 goes to Crobat. Now, we have all had our fair share, guys. If you've played any of the Pokemon games, what happens when you run into a cave? You take one step, you take two steps, a Zubat. Then you take another 2 steps, another Zubat. Then you take another 2 steps and another Zubat. Then you take another 2 steps and there's another Zubat. And then if you're playing X and Y, you take another 3 steps and then you run into 5 Zubat. Guys, I cannot tell you how much I hate Zubat and I hate Crobat. I hate Zubat and then I hate Golbat. I just can't. And then when Johto came out, I saw Crobat and I was like, wow, he actually looks kind of cool. So I actually got a Zubat. I raised him into a Golbat, and then I got him to evolve into a Crobat. Now, I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed using Crobat, and I still do to an extent. There are things that I think that are better than Crobat, but from Generation 2, I really liked Crobat because there was a lot of Pokemon from the first gen that I just couldn't stand, and Golbat was one of those Pokemon that got an evolution that then made it look cool, in my opinion. So Crobat is my number 10. Number 9 is Hitmontop. This is another one of those Pokemon that from the past gen that I just didn't really like. I thought Hitmonchan was cool, and so did Hitmonlee, but they weren't my favorite. And then in Gen 2 we got Tyrogue, and he was, I think at the time, one of the only 2 Pokemon that had 3 different versions of what he could evolve into, not a part of a chain. Because Tyrogue could become one of 3 Pokemon. He could become Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, or Hitmontop. And the only other Pokemon that was like this was an Eevee, starting in Generation 2, could become one of 5 different Pokemon. But when I saw Hitmontop for the first time, I really thought he was cool. Because he literally was... He was Hitmonlee, but he spun on his head. I mean, it was cool. I just didn't really ever really like Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan that much, but when I saw Hitmontop, I liked it, and it was cool, it was different, and when I very first got my first Tyrogue, I tried my best to make it evolve into Hitmontop, and when it did, I was very happy, and I really enjoyed using Hitmontop just because he looked different. Even though the Hitmon trio, I guess, is not anywhere near my favorite fighting Pokemon, but just from Gen 2, Hitmontop was really, really fun and really cool to use, and I thought he had a cool theme behind him. So number 9 goes to Hitmontop. Number 8 is a tie between Espeon and Umbreon. And the reason there's a tie is both of these Pokemon were announced, are in the Pokedex, obviously right next together, and it was I'm pretty sure they were announced at the same time, because both of these Pokemon to me, I have special memories with both of them, because Espeon and Umbreon, they were the first 2 Pokemon that were like the opposites of each other, because you have Espeon that evolved during the day, and then you had Umbreon, which evolved at night. If you ever played the old Pokemon Coliseum games, these were in those games quite frequently. I can't remember what the name of the one was, where I think it was Coliseum, maybe it wasn't, but there was one game where your first 2 Pokemon was literally Espeon and Umbreon. And it was for the GameCube, but for the life of me, I can't think what it was. But I enjoy Espeon and Umbreon for 2 different reasons. Espeon is kind of like a special sweeper. You're 9 times out of 10 going to raise an Espeon to literally just be able to use a multitude of attacks and just completely sweep your opponent with special attacks. Then you have Umbreon, which I've always kind of used as a wall and kind of like as a tech. Umbreon never really learns any good offensive moves. I mean, it can learn things like Dark Pulse and things like that, but I enjoyed using Umbreon just as a wall because its special defense was through the roof. That was just me, but I thoroughly enjoyed Espeon and Umbreon. I even remember when I was playing Crystal through for the first time, I got a hold of 2 Eevees and evolved one of them in the day and one of them in the night, so I could just have Espeon and Umbreon on the same team. It was a lot of fun. But Espeon and Umbreon, it would not be a top 10 list from Johto if both of these were not on the list. Number 7, and that's Totodile. Now, to be honest, guys, it was hard for me to find, first off, this Generation 2, it was a smaller list because they mixed a few new Pokemon with the entire Pokedex from the first one. I mean, even at the beginning of the game, you still ran into Pidgeys a lot, you still ran into the bug Pokemon a lot. It wasn't something like Hoenn that you ran into completely new things off the bat. But as for the starters, I was not really a fan. I was not as I mean, because to me it seems like Typhlosion was like, he has like this massive fan club, and I'm not denying I like Typhlosion, I like Cyndaquil, I'll raise one every now and again, and I even have one to put on my teams, but I just never was that impressed with Typhlosion. I mean, he's a good Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't one of my favorites. Neither was Chikorita, but Totodile, if I had to pick out of the three of them, which I would take, and I remember when I played Silver for the first time, because I got Silver before Gold, I used Totodile because I just thought he looked cool with his red spikes, and he was a little crocodile. I thought he was kind of cool looking, and plus I remember him from the show and how he danced around all the place, and he just made me laugh. So Totodile out of the three starters from the Johto region was my favorite. I'm probably going to get yelled at in the comment section. What? Cyndaquil isn't your favorite? Typhlosion is amazing! Yes, Typhlosion is amazing, I agree, but Totodile was my favorite, and I'm sorry, I just wasn't overly impressed with the starters from Gen 2, but out of the three of them, Totodile was my favorite, and I thoroughly enjoyed using Totodile very much. Number 6 was Steelix. Now, Steel-type Pokemon were a new addition to the Johto region, and I tried using Onix in yellow, blue, and red, but he was so easy to kill. But then when Steelix came out, I thought he was amazing. He just looked cooler. He looked meaner. There's a person in the Gold and Silver games that you can trade a Bellsprout to, and he'll give you an Onix. Unfortunately, every single time you trade with someone in the game, they have the stupid-ass nickname. But then when I found out where you could catch an Onix, I just caught my own Onix and then raised it myself. And then trained it, and then traded it to a friend while it was equipped with a metal coat, and evolved it into a Steelix. Steelix was a lot of fun. You know, he just looked cooler. In my opinion, he is no way in far on my top 10 or even 20 list as my favorites, but Steelix was just cool for the time, you know what I mean, because it was a different time. We only had 251 Pokemon, and Steelix was amazing. I think he was on my team the very first time I went through the game, but I'm not sure. But Steelix for his time was really, really cool. There's obviously a whole lot more Steel Pokemon out there that are better. Excuse me. But Steelix is pretty cool. No one can deny that. Number 5 goes to Sneasel. Now, Sneasel, when you run into it in the game, the only place you can get it is in Mount Silver. Now, Sneasel is just awesome. And the first time you see it, your rival has it when you're doing that long, painful Team Rocket series where you got to go to Goldenrod City, fight your way halfway up the radio station, then go underground, fight that all out through, then you got to go back to the radio station and fight your way up through the second part of it. That is my least favorite part of Gold and Silver, and then Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Always has been. But when you fight your rival in that underground maze you got to go through, he has a Sneasel, and that's the first time you see it in the game, I believe. And when I saw him, I was like, that thing is cool. He's got them long claws. He's got that dark blue-looking body. How can you not like that? And then when I look on the Pokedex, it says, area unknown, you know, or it shows it to you on a part that you can't get to yet. It really pissed me off. You know, and you don't get it until you get to Mount Silver. You know, so, but when you do run into it, at that point in the game, you're like, you're in your 40s. All my Pokemon they're in their high 70s, low 80s, and I'm getting ready to go battle Red. Sorry. You know, that was a little bummed out, but what I ended up doing was catching a Sneasel and using the daycare center, and Sneasel, believe it or not, was the first Pokemon that I hatched from an egg. And when the next time I played a new game, I traded him over so I could raise him from the start. But I enjoyed Sneasel. I thought he looked so badass. And then when he got a an evolution in Gen 4 or 5, I can't remember, into Weavile, it's like even awesomer. He gets even cooler. So Sneasel, number 4, 5 on this list. I love him. I just wish that they didn't put him only in Mount Silver. But oh well. It's gone. It's done. It's over with. Number 4, Houndoom. Do I really have to explain why Houndoom is badass? Guys, they took Arcanine and they just made it smaller but more badass. It is a black dog with horns and with skull horns. It's like, how is this not cool? I remember when I very first saw Houndour, I was like, I want one. And I remember catching a Houndour through my first play of the game, and I did the same thing that I did with Growlithe. I leveled that sucker up, and I used it. And then when I got to the 7th Gym Leader and I found out it was all Ice Pokemon, I was thrilled. Houndour, guys, and Houndoom specifically, is badass. I have a Houndoom that I still use on my teams today. I enjoy using this Pokemon very much, and then when I found out he got a Mega Evolution, I flipped. The horns got bigger, his skull armor, I guess, got bigger and badder. I mean, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. I really, really love Houndoom, guys. He is badass. Fire, Dark, you know, 2 of my favorite types right there. And, damn. That's all I got to say is damn. Number 3 goes to Scizor, guys. This is the coolest Steel Pokemon, or at least up there. I mean, not the coolest, but at least the coolest prior in this season. Because in Generation 2, there was only 3 Steel Pokemon, I believe. Steelix, Scizor, Magnemite, and, well, Magneton, so 4. Which, by the way, Magnemite becoming a Steel Pokemon, in my opinion, was fucking stupid. I liked Scizor, guys. Scyther was always cool, but when Scyther became red and he got those, instead of a blade, it was those pincers, I thought he just looked even cooler. I just love Scizor. His speed was incredible. Metal Claw, for some reason in the old Pokemon Silver and Gold games, it seemed like it KO'd just about everything. And also, you could teach him the move False Swipe, which worked really good when you were trying to complete the Pokedex at the time. And it was a whole lot more easy to complete the Pokedex. It was a good Pokemon, which I like to call Pokedex hunting, or Pokemon hunting. It was real easy to weaken Pokemon than to go after and catch them. But I liked Scizor, and I was glad to see it also got a Mega Evolution, even though I wasn't overly impressed with its Mega Evolved form. I think they could have made it look a lot more cooler, but it was cool that Scizor did get it, especially Houndoom and Scizor, because they were 2 of my favorites from the earlier days of the game. Number 2, Gligar. I like Gligar, guys. It took me a while. When I very first started playing Pokemon in Silver, and I ran into Gligar the first time, I caught one because I had never ran into it, but then I decided to give it a try. And I remember using Gligar through the whole game after I hatched and breeded one out, just to shove back over to a game to start it with. And I enjoyed using him, and he was just cool. Obviously, Gligar is a whole lot better now that he has an evolved form, which is Gliscor, and Gliscor is fucking amazing, you know, but I liked Gligar from the start. I wasn't one of those people who was like, Gligar, ew, gross, you're stupid, get away, and then he got Gliscor, and then you had all these Gliscor fanboys, oh my god, Gliscor, he's so amazing, and it's like, shut up, you're only using him because he's amazing. Gligar, just from Gen 2, guys, I enjoyed using just as he was. He was an amazing Pokemon who had incredible speed, incredible defense, and he also had very good attack. So this was a very underrated Pokemon at the time, and I really enjoyed using it. And now, for my number 1 Pokemon from Generation 2, the Johto region goes to Tyranitar. And this is another one of the most annoying things about those games, is you don't run into Larvitar or Pupitar until you get to Mount Silver. And this pisses me off to no extent. Because throughout the whole game, I was trying to find where this fucking thing was. Because my mom got me the little Pokemon Gold and Silver book that came with it back then, and it was like, where is this thing? You know, and then when I came to find out that it wasn't until the end of the game when this thing was even catchable, it pissed me off. It's like, this thing is badass. Why couldn't this be like in the 3rd or 4th city in the beginning of the game, to where then I can catch it and actually raise it and make use of it? Larvitar was another one of those Pokemon that I took to the breeder and said, give me an egg so I can start from scratch. You know, but what are you going to do? But then, Larvitar is one of the harder Pokemon to raise, because you have to get it to Pupitar, and it doesn't evolve into Pupitar until level 30, and then at Pupitar, you are stuck with Pupitar for another 25 levels until you grind it all the way to 55. Now, and Pupitar is weird. Once you hit about that level 42, 44, somewhere in there, that last 10 levels takes for fucking ever. But when you get to 55, guys, it is amazing. Tyranitar, this thing is the Pokemon's Godzilla. This thing is badass, and his attacks are devastating. And with all the egg moves that he can now learn in the newest generation, he is only better. And the fact that this thing got a Mega Evolution was almost unfair. Tyranitar is by far one of my favorite Megas, and it's also probably one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, just because Tyranitar, if you're looking at just Gen 2 below, he's one of the best, just from the first 2 generations, for his simple, overpowering physical attacking. Not much else to say. Tyranitar for the win. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my top 10 list from Generation 2. Generation 3, the Hoenn region will be next, and that is probably going to be a little bit harder to do, because I have, excuse me, loads of Pokemon from the Hoenn region that I love, and that one is definitely going to be tough. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. So in the comment section below, why don't you tell me your favorite Pokemon from Gen 2? What about your favorite? If you want, share with me your list. What is your top 10 Pokemon from Generation 2? If you agree, tell me, is there a Pokemon that you think that should be on this list? I base my list just off my personal favorites, memories, and ones that I think have the most usability, but mostly just because they're my favorites. So if there is one that maybe you don't understand because it is a popular one, why it's not on my list, I'd be more than happy to explain why. If you want, please do leave me your top 10 list in the comment section below. I like hearing what your guys' opinion are, and it's nice to see that maybe some of you have something that's completely different from mine. I just love always hearing your feedback, guys. I enjoy reading it. So Generation 3, the Hoenn region, will be coming soon. So make sure you thumbs up this video for me. You leave me some feedback in below. Make sure you go check out the monthly giveaway, like I said, and keep your mark it on your calendars for the December month giveaway. I will be giving away a copy of the new Pokemon Ruby or the new Pokemon Sapphire to a lucky winner. So guys, go check out the giveaways if you haven't yet, and I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.